I have some seriously good news for all Tesla stock shareholders. The new Model 3 long range now qualifies for the full $7,500 federal tax credit in the US. This is really good news, and Tesla investors, of course, are celebrating with the stock being up. Tesla is going to have a much better time selling these Model 3s. Maybe that's one reason why Elon earlier said that deliveries this year are going to be higher than the previous year. Keep in mind, though, that the Model 3 rear-wheel drive does not qualify for the credit, but they are basically now the same price, sort of. So I really don't know why you would buy the rear-wheel drive model. The only option that makes sense here is a long-range all-wheel drive Model 3. Even James is really happy with this news. Everyone's celebrating today, saying it's huge. And if you like this news as well, then click the like button. Tesla is telling the delivery judge, get lost. They didn't use exactly those words, but that's basically what they mean. Tesla began its fight for legal recognition of a shareholder vote favoring Elon Musk's pay package, telling a Delaware judge that it significantly impacts her ruling voting the pay, according to a letter made public today. So the legal fight has now begun as expected. Tesla has said the ratification process was novel and it was unclear if McCormick, the judge, and the Delaware Supreme Court would accept the result. But Tesla has correctly argued that the ratification has now cured the problems raised in the judge's ruling in January. Well, this is not really a full surprise, is it? Tesla pauses Cybertruck deliveries over wiper motor issue. It is the biggest windshield wiper after all. It is probably roughly a week-long halt on deliveries, and some buyers were told that Tesla would have to replace the windshield wiper motor on all Cybertrucks, but this has not been officially confirmed yet. There's no recall notice as of this moment. Tesla has just reduced the price of the Model 3 all-wheel drive in the US by $250. Here's the history of Tesla price cuts. There hasn't been a change for the Model 3 for a while now. Elon just commented on FSD V12.4, so much is new in this version that it will take a few more point releases to smooth it out. So over the next few point releases, we should expect it to be quite a bit better, just like the 12.3 version sort of was. By the time it got to 12.3.3, ooh, it was nice. I'm looking at the comments and people are saying that this FSD version on Chuck's left turn is performing better. Some are saying it's a huge improvement, so let's see.
Oh, got a little traffic we have to wait for. Okay, this is good. It's not going to go for this one. I can tell. It's too steady state with not enough gaps. Now, there's another tiny little gap here. It can't go for that. Oh, is it going to try? It's going to go for it. Okay, this is fine. Is it going to fit in the median right? Is it fitting? Okay, it's in the median. That one was good. It did not scare me on that creep. It was a good, very, very good turn there. There was moderate traffic from both sides. It was a smooth approach into the median, and it did not scare me that it was going to jump out in front of that traffic, and it waited on the right. So good job, Tesla AI.
Smooth.
That's what we need to see. That smoothness gave me the confidence that it was going to do what it needed to do on that one. Here we go again. Let's see what we got on this one. Every single one is different. There's the creep. Got a couple cars. Okay, a very small gap I don't want it to go for. Oh, it didn't go for that one. Good. I'm having to recalibrate my judgment on what it's going to do because it's gone for some aggressive ones. Okay, now 3 more cars and a nice gap, but we're going to have to wait from the right. So it's going to need to be smooth in the median and wait. Smooth and median. Wait in the median. Nice. Nice. Don't go. Okay, don't scare me here because these cars are coming very, very closely. I'm going to hit the cameras for you there. Okay, now it can go in the left lane, right? Now. Oh boy, it pre-rolled that car. The pre-roll in 12.36 almost hit a car. That pre-roll was smooth, and it didn't scare me. So, guys, this is an improvement. It's a smoothness and decision making, and the latency on the pre-roll on that one was just right. I bet from the overhead you can see that pre-roll perfectly, and it made it fit inside the gap better. 12.4.1, I think it's doing pretty good.
With 12.3.3, my experience has been that in very, very difficult situations, it sometimes lacks smoothness. In my experience, it doesn't necessarily mean it's unsafe, but the car is just not very smooth. But this version seems to be different, with very difficult situations being actually much smoother. And I think at this point, it is clear that this version is going to be better once they polish it up a little bit, just like they polished that 12.3 version. Now, speaking of 12.5, given that 12.4 hasn't even gone wide yet, it's safe to assume we won't see 12.5 until late July at the earliest, so more likely maybe August. Someone says, my guess is Tesla is having a major challenge beating 12.3 performance. AI is like whack-a-mole. You improve over here and over there, something breaks and we don't know why. You will need a new AI technically fundamental breakthrough to move forward enough from here. Omar, however, responds with, as someone who is using the new version, you are wrong. It is already much better than 12.3 and we just witnessed it. Also, remember, everything we have seen from FSD so far has only been hardware 3. Even AI 4 cars are running in AI 3 emulation mode. It seems quite clear that hardware 3 will be capable of driverless operation at this point. If it can do every drive without intervention, why not? But hardware 4, of course, is going to be more capable because the computer is better and the cameras also are better. So they can see better, they can see further and clearer. It's not quite like hardware 3 needs glasses, but it's more that hardware 4 has supervision compared to hardware 3. Tesla has sued its former supplier Matthews International in California federal court for allegedly stealing trade secrets related to Tesla's battery manufacturing process and sharing them with its competitors. Tesla says that the damages conservatively will exceed $1 billion for misusing company trade secrets related to dry electrode battery manufacturing technology. This Pittsburgh-based supplier began working with Tesla in 2019, supplying Tesla with manufacturing machinery. The lawsuit said Matthews shared Tesla's innovations with unnamed competitors by selling machines and other technologies embodying Tesla's trade secrets. It also said Matthews claimed Tesla's inventions as his own in patent filings that have revealed confidential Tesla information. So Tesla is asking the court to block Matthews from misusing his trade secrets and hand over its patent applications in addition to requesting monetary damages. You know, it's one thing to take someone's trade secrets, but it's just next level to take them and say, oh, this is mine and here's my patent saying these are mine. So now the company that invented the actual technology cannot even use it for itself. These people are crooks. We are hearing rumors that Tesla is about to start testing FSD in Shanghai. Oh, and now we are getting confirmations too. Tesla gets Shanghai approval to test advanced driver assistance. So the approval has already been granted on select streets, and there probably will be more very soon. So yeah, there seems to be quite a bit going on, with FSD approval likely to follow in another region following Shanghai. We are seeing more Model Y refresh concepts and renders floating around. I think these do look pretty good. There's a bit of a debate about August 8th. Tesla's August 8th Robotaxi unveil is an unveil of a new Tesla vehicle without traditional control, so without steering wheel or pedals. It is not the launch of a driverless service, and it does not mean that FSD will work 100% perfectly by that day. But Farzad is not so sure. I think they show the service, app, and ecosystem with a target launch date, end of year, in a handful of markets in the best case. They also show Cybercab, so two-seater vehicle with no steering wheel and pedals, and a compact car for consumers priced at maybe $25,000 to $30,000. Unless Tesla shows a consumer-based vehicle as well on the day of the event, I don't expect the stock to jump on that day. I would expect the stock to actually drop a little bit unless something amazing is also announced, which by the way is typical for Tesla stock. Tesla stock often goes up before the event and then on the day of the event, not always, of course, but that has been the case more often than not. There's a very interesting observation about this post. Had an interesting conversation about FSD at dinner this evening with family. General consensus is that they all hate it. Terrible map data, indecisiveness, improper maneuvering. I could go on and on. At this point, I feel like it's just the shareholders that haven't actually used it that are propping it up on the pedestal that it's on in the space on X. We need to see massive improvements at a very rapid pace or it's dead. Notice how how they didn't specify that it did something dangerous. They just said, oh, it's not comfortable enough to use it. And the new FSD version that Chuck tested supposedly is quite a bit smoother. Also, I wonder if he tried FSD V11, because all of these issues that he mentioned, these were much worse. People are asking, where is the Robotaxi event going to be held? I'm sure it's Austin, just like Steven thinks. Here's an interesting observation. Driving with a teenager learning to drive is way more scary than FSD, especially on the freeway. No comparison. As long as you can supervise FSD. Oh, I still agree with the number one point here with Omar. Tesla's next generation user interface should consist of the following: a redesigned user interface that is easier to navigate with less precise taps needed and more broad gestures. Precise taps are difficult in a moving car, especially with navigation. I just want to roughly point to where I want to go with just one click. I don't want to confirm, do anything. No. I just want to press and let's go there. Roughly around that area. And then later I can tinker with my navigation when I stop at a red light and I have 30 seconds to change my destination. Often that's actually one of the biggest reasons why I may not turn on FSD. Just getting my destination into navigation is just a bit too time consuming, which is not a problem if I don't have to be anywhere at a precise time, but it's definitely an issue if I think I might be late by like 1 minute. Then I'm not putting anything and I'm just going immediately. I think Omar was a bit broader with his statement here, but I'm specifically talking about navigation. We are learning about some impressive numbers in regards to voting, and overall, this kind of level of turnout, 83% of votes casted, is extremely impressive because you have to remember, many people wanted to vote, but they were not able to because their brokerages made it basically impossible or extremely difficult. How likely are you to vote if you know that you will need to call someone, probably wait 10 minutes on the line, or maybe that 10 minutes could turn into 20 or 30 minutes. Well, we now know how likely we are to vote, and that's very likely, but it's only a thing because this vote mattered so much. In the future, though, we are likely to have more important votes, so if you are with a brokerage that didn't let you vote, I would suggest that you change your brokerage. Because the legal battle continues, someone is asking, do I need to send another letter to the judge now? Not yet, but we may need that in a bit, so I will let you all guys know. I am pretty sure these letters actually made an impact. Multi-billionaire all-in Tesla stock investor Cogman Leo explained that he didn't vote in 2018 because he bought 27.6 million shares since 2019. But we now know that we outnumbered him 63-1 including Elon, or 48-1 not including Elon. I have a hard time believing that Leo Cogman just actually said this. Did he really compare Elon to this historical figure from Germany right before the Second World War? Charismatic leader is mesmerizingly popular. He took your money, your power, and then your lives, but you voted for dear leader again and again. Hitler rose to power by votes in 1932 and by trick in 1933. Cult, he says, or shouts in this case. So I posted this on X, not related to this, but some of the closest people to Elon have been of Jewish descent, like Walter Isaacson, who wrote the whole super thick biography of Elon Musk. It's a very good book, by the way. If you haven't read it yet, you should. Elon replied to this comment with a laughing emoji. Calling Elon Hitler seems over the top. No one appreciates Mussolini. Wow. Here's a good chart by Reuters summing up all items of this year's proxy vote. Re-election of Kimball Musk, I think, also shows basically direct support for Elon Musk. So 79% of the shareholders voted in favor of this. Reduction of board directors to 1 year from 3 years. 53% in favor, so that barely passed. You know, I'm not sure if that's really a good thing because it's going to be much easier for someone like Ross Gerber to get on the board because inevitably, occasionally for some periods of time, we will go through some dark moments, and during a dark moment, it's much easier to get elected on some dubious issue. There's quite a bit of discussion about this subject, how Elon could sell shares to pay taxes without being so easily front-run by the market. Because, you know, some of these short sellers are just waiting for Elon to sell some Tesla stock to pay his taxes because the stock probably would go down a little bit. And because it's already going down, if you're shorting it, it's more likely to go down more. And because some people are shorting it, even more people are going to short it now, creating even more momentum. So someone is asking Elon, please do us a solid and utilize dark pool transactions to sell the shares you need to pay the taxes. That way, short sellers cannot just front run Elon Musk and short Tesla stock in anticipation of Elon Musk selling and making the stock go lower that day. There is also a downside to using dark pool trades or block trades because the commissions are going to be higher. This is pretty important actually. In order to make further progress with banks and brokers, please fill out one of the 2 surveys we just set up. Links in the comments, and I reposted this post, so to find it, click on the link in the description of this video, go to my profile, and you will see it at the top. Number 1, those who can recommend their broker follow the first instructions, and number 2, those who experience difficulties follow the second instructions. This will make it very easy to understand which brokers were good and which ones were terrible. Prasad says, I'd love to know what Tesla investors think about a potential margin upside surprise for Q2. We know that battery raw materials are continuing to plummet due to oversupply from most EV makers, drawing down long-term targets. We know that Cybertruck is ramping and these higher deliveries will contribute a tiny little bit to the margins. In Q1, Tesla was able to post similar margins versus Q4 with about 100,000 less cars sold in the quarter. Plus, a Cybertruck ramp was just beginning. In Q2, Tesla will be able to sell 50,000 more cars in the quarter versus Q1 and be much further along in the Cybertruck ramp. FSD take rate is likely significantly higher in Q2 than in Q1. The battery business is also continuing to ramp. For that, however, did not include the lower financing rates and the promotions that Tesla ran this quarter. But Farzad did make a few good points there. So someone was talking about flying cars here, to which Elon responded, the new Tesla Roadster can actually fly. We haven't heard much about the Roadster, so maybe it's actually going to come sometime soon now, although I'm not expecting it to come out anytime soon with so many delays. Maybe on August 8th we will see the Roadster, although I'm definitely not expecting it. Elon also commented on one of Stephen Mark Ryan's posts, AI just breaks all conventional valuations. If you average ARK's 5-year Tesla fair valuation base case, Tesla would add $1.5 trillion in market cap each year for the next 5 years. Robotaxis will transform Tesla's business and valuation. I definitely agree with that. For comparison, by the way, Tesla is roughly at $500 to $600 billion market cap right now. It's up today a little bit though. So it's almost touching $600 billion. Oh, and it's actually happening now. The first police Cybertruck is out there. The Dubai Police General Command has added a Tesla Cybertruck to its fleet, making it the first instance of a police department using the Cybertruck. I suspect if I read the comments, I'm going to see people saying, arrest me. Oh, so there's going to be a Starlink Mini. This is actually pretty small. The current Starlink, I mean, it's portable, but it's not exactly super easy to fit it in your backpack. You need to have a really big backpack. So it's portable, but you are probably not going to put it in your backpack if you go hiking. But if you go somewhere with an RV, of course, you're going to take it. It's not too hard to take it, but this just takes it to the next level. I cannot wait for Starlink to go public. Elon says, I just set it up right now and I am writing this post through space. Took less than 5 minutes, easily carried in a backpack. This product will change the world. And it gets better, about half the price of a standard dish to buy and monthly subscription, but you can still watch multiple 4K video streams simultaneously. And look at the latency, it's really low. This is incredible. However, if you stream, your upload speed is a bit low. A good thing to use as reference for how big this thing really is just to take a regular sheet of paper. And it's pretty similar. Elon replied to this post, Tesla bots would be offered both as rentals as well as to buy, but the former first. This post says basically that Elon's prediction for Tesla bots is too conservative, but I would be extremely happy with a $25 trillion market cap already. He's going with 250 trillion? Whoa. I said this many times before, actually. I am just happy with returns that exceed S&P 500. Now, of course, with Tesla, supposedly you are taking more risks, so I would want these returns to be noticeably higher than S&P 500. But overall, as an investor, I am thrilled getting a return that's equal to or especially higher than that of S&P 500. Wow, I did not expect Elon to reply with this. We could make a hungry hippo version of Starship to chomp and deorbit space debris. Warren Buffett's Berkshire continued to sell BYD, and as of June 11, it now holds 6.9%. Look at this trend. It used to be 19.9%. Wow. GM says the upcoming all-electric Cadillac will now get 460 miles of range, up from 450. That's it for today's video. I just published a new exclusive Patreon video. Don't be surprised by this. It's a bit of a warning of sorts to Tesla investors, something to pay attention to, which I know some people inevitably will get mad over because it might come a bit as a surprise, even though it really shouldn't. By joining Patreon, you will have access to all of my exclusive videos on Patreon, as well as how much I am willing to pay for each Tesla share between 2024 and 2033. If you join the investor tier, you will also have access to my valuation model, where you will see all of my assumptions, including deliveries, the energy business, Tesla's future businesses like FSD, and of course much more. And then if you want to easily download that and put in your own numbers, then this third tier is for you. To all of my Patreon supporters, thank you so much. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet as well. It's really important to like the videos because that makes it less likely that the channel will be shadow banned later, like my other big channel got shadow banned before from about 50% of my regular viewers. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.